Good morning. Good morning, Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, June 30th, 2021, Wednesday. Talk of quality, essence of quality, title being Civil Field Engineering, quality AnnexSL, quality structures and COVID-19 safety relations to everybody, and engineers particularly, designs, construction, methods, contracts, organizations, communications, coordinations, and quality. Usual or unusual talk may be everybody is competent to some extent in profession. If you are a professional, if one is professional, which means one has certain degree of competency, that has to be accepted. That competency, consistency, standards of working, standards of thinking must be in line to certain expectations that this person, this functionary, whoever it is, has certain competent level and shall work to requirement of whatever nature. That is what do we understand by certain certified professionals who are well experienced as well. This is what I think and everybody thinks. You see, details cannot be run in beginning. Let us understand this. Details cannot be run in beginning. This is what professionals must understand, and I too. First, we should have a kind of clarity. Clarity is a must. We can't perspective. If I have certain project and I don't have outline of that project, I don't have total understanding of that project, what it should be, what it is, a clean picture is required. A clear picture is required before resorting to running details. Details have no boundary. It's boundless. But if we know what is my objective and what do I understand by that, can I see that clearly? And if I touch then further, keeping same picture, I think we shall be able to do something. If I don't have that picture clear, I should first make picture clear. Running away without picture, running away without clarification, well, I think is futile exercise. I understand issue of COVID-19 is very clear messenger. Issue is clear messenger. It says, I am there, learn from me. But we consider this as our enemy, because due to this impact we have lost crores of people and maybe we lose further. This COVID-19 has adversely impacted our economy, macro and micro both. Individuals have been suffering due to losses of jobs, due to closure of schools, factories, institutions, hospitalizations, hostels. And it is completely unexpected state of economy, closure of public life that has given loss to world. But loss is one part, while survival is another part. If we survive, there is value of loss, there is value of no loss, there is value of economy. But if we are unable to survive, economy has no value for me. This world has no value for me. If I lose my life due to COVID, due to being unsafe, due to being bad health, means many have gone, lakhs have gone, crores have gone from world and shall go also if it continues. We have to be very frank in talk. There should be no suppression of mind. There should be no worry to speak about. When question comes in of life and death, I don't care for anybody, whoever or whatever high position one has. There's no politics involved in this question of life and death. Why to worry about politicians or about powerful? If I don't exist, what's meaning of your power? No meaning. Enjoy your power yourself. You have also to live one day. Your power shall not go with you. Your seed shall not go with you. Unfortunately, these politicians can never understand what is life, what is happiness, what is a smooth way to do something. These people can never ever understand. Cannot be measured in terms of society or politics. When one has to lose life for that person, nothing is so important. That's fact of life. Quality understanding of system. What is system? Fact is that today COVID state is as such. There is darkness everywhere. COVID-19 has created an envelope of darkness all over globe. You may say, no, it is no darkness, vaccinations are available. That is relative understanding. That is, just a kind of shield you are taking. We know, we do not know, both are there. We know that COVID exists. We know how does it work. I mean to say, it works by person to person contact and person to air contact. It works in unknown way. Its complete philosophy, its complete technology that it enjoys with is unknown. It is strange that lapse of 15 or 16 months or 18 months, world hasn't been successful to acquire knowledge by virtue of what is happening or what has been happening. Still we are void of knowledge. We are void of pathology. How does it work? This means it is so powerful. COVID-19 is so powerful. We stand nowhere if we compare ourselves to its potential. It's only just to keep happy we can say, if we have vaccination, we will enjoy, we will fight. Okay, vaccination is one part of COVID-19. So far it has not proven that it is something equivalent to treatable, equivalent to curable. It's only a shield that you get. You can say it's only precautionary measure that you may delay entry of COVID-19. That's it. Nothing else. There is no clear approach, and I think in near future we shall not get it. Had we been able to get it, so far we have gotten it. Science has established its wings all over the world, but it has not been able to reach COVID. I am not scientist, I am not doctor, but what's happening I can see like you can see. It's question of apprehension, how much you get. I can simply say we have two issues. One issue is quality and one issue is SHE, that is safety, health and environment. Other than this, there is economical issue, there are other issues in this world which are all interlinked to this. Just imagine if COVID runs say for 10 years, up to 2029 possibly, or more, we don't know. Or it may go next year, we don't know. From actions of COVID-19, from its intensification, I don't find that it has to go early. That is relative understanding, relative study. Forget research. It's clearly telling that it is much smarter than what we think of. COVID-19 is much smarter. We have given names to it, COVID-19, because it started in year 19, so we put title 19. No problem. Then we have given names like first wave, second wave, third wave. No problem, you can give whatever you want to know. It's only a name, name has no value. You can say wave or you can say whatever you can call it. It doesn't make a difference onto my health or your health. It's only relative definition just to identify something. Just like my name is Suraj, there's no meaning of that, but I'm Suraj, that's it. So it's like name, you can give whatever name, it doesn't make a difference to COVID-19 action. COVID-19 shall act until it wants to act, because COVID-19 at this stage is superpower, you can say. Until we know about this, it has character to be called superpower for this purpose, for impacting people, for infecting people. This is like superpower, we can say, or we must have known about this, then it won't be called superpower, then it will be called defeated power. So far, defeated community we are, defeated humanity we are, because we have failed. We have failed to understand function, we have failed to understand how it operates. Medical science is one part, medical history is one part. But other than medical also there is world. Medical has limitations, but world has no limitation. It is same thing as we say quality system and quality control. Engineers generally understand quality control, they don't understand clearly what is quality system. That is some difference in engineering approach. Engineers are very much concerned with quality control, though they don't do that also, but they rarely understand what is quality system. Same here. We understand COVID, what's control on COVID, but we don't understand what is quality of COVID. Unnecessarily, we have created problems for ourselves. Politicians all over the world, they don't understand anything. That is also true. When they put their image on top, all problems are created. It happened. It happened last year. It's happening now. All politicians, I'm not blaming exclusively one or two. Generally, politicians around the world, they want to dominate because they are politicians. Their job is to serve people, but it is not happening. They just want to play also in the name of COVID. They want to get credit for no work they have done. Because, don't take it otherwise. This is a fact of life. If we don't consider fact being educated people, we can't help ourselves. Sometimes truth is hidden. Truth is concealed from people. But concealing truth doesn't mean that you can conceal it. Truth is such a powerful bogey. It's such a powerful. You have to understand these points. Failure is a failure. You cannot say it is success. And success is a success until it works. Engineering is only world professionalism. It's only profession where nothing can be concealed. If you conceal something, the results will still be the loss of life and property. Blame game is there, of course, later on, but facts can't be denied that there's a failure, there's an accident, derailment. We have to take this point. Other sciences, other professions are different. There can be no guarantee, but here guarantee is there that if you do this, this building will work. If you do like that, this building will not work. Same thing is safety. If you are safe, it is seen. If you are not safe, it is also seen. There is nothing that can be concealed. You can't conceal anything. Engineer has to understand this fact. Engineer means reality. Another meaning of engineer is intelligent but reality. Engineer is real. Real in a sense, you produce real results. We don't produce poetry, we don't produce stories. We produce something that impacts on human lives all over the world. So you can't compare engineering with other systems. Engineering is that which deals with natural materials, particularly civil engineering, which is mother of all of engineering, you can say, all over the world. Because if there is no home, you cannot use home, you cannot live comfortable, you cannot have any facility. If there is no home, you need room, you need some house to live in first. It may be old type house or RCC house, doesn't matter. But you need first something like birds require small hutment. Same way we are like birds, we have to do something. So you can say engineer is a bird of to fly whole society. Civil engineer can be called a bird, sparrow, crow. Civil engineer flies everybody into advanced society. That is also definition of civil engineer. But don't forget, civil engineer means reality of life. Reality of life is not exclusive mathematics. Mathematics is a tool to use in civil engineering, but civil engineering means use of natural materials for survival, for advancement, for modernity, for old times. All is that civil engineering. We cannot simply say, because I have used this formula and it's perfect. Formula is one part, but how we use that, what quality system we follow there, that is also important. Engineer has to understand system and quality are different. Quality system and quality application both are different. Somebody writes, engineers are integrated, very integrated people. Yes, that's true, they are integrated people. They keep on checking everything. Yes, they have to stay sharp. But do we understand what is that quality? I am behind quality not because I was from quality or I am expert in quality. No, not at all. I'm neither expert nor I'm qualified for quality. I've not taken any training in quality systems. Just whatever comes to my mind, I think because of experience. Because of long experience in field, I could learn something about quality which even quality guys don't understand. System has to work. That's it. Now there is some institution like ISO 9000 or some other who defines system, but they do not guarantee quality, right? ISO 9000, Indian International Standard Organization, or Sigma, someone, they define quality systems. They only define, and that definition is not permanent. That definition is temporary. They keep on changing that because they too are not sure what they are doing. Their own system is not clear. That's why keep on changing. This means their organization for purpose of quality, but they too are dependent on something else, and that else is requirement. If you read that, you will find that there are so many blanks in that system. You will find so much blank spaces there in that system that you have to fill them up according to your needs. Where you are located on globe, you have to fill locally requirements, local requirement parameters, you can say national required parameters, you have to fill in yourself. You have to fill in local conditions yourself. Only they give you a system, a cage in which you can put in. That's what I say. There is no guarantee even after that. If you follow that system, you cannot guarantee that quality is risk. It's only a system, they say. It's only a system. People used to write ISO qualified, ISO certified. There is no ISO that can certify you, remember. There is no mandate to ISO 9000, ISO that it can certify you, that comply with that. Not at all. This is a standard organization only. Be clear about that. All certificates which write ISO certified are wrong, are misleading. ISO doesn't certify anybody. It produces system, nothing else. Now you are certified by some third party, not ISO, and that third party is a registration body that certifies you that you comply with that requirement. That's it. So you should write quality compliant. You cannot write ISO certified. That is misconception people have got in all over the world. Well, it's not a big issue. Question is that compliance is important. I'm just referring it to because facts are these. Clearly it's written on their website. You go and see that they don't certify anybody, but unnecessarily people use their name. No problem. It doesn't give any benefit because your product itself doesn't justify quality. Product you're giving doesn't guarantee quality. All products, not only engineering products, it's all products. You are ISO compliant, even then you are not guaranteeing your product's quality one. There are defects in all products. All products. You buy a car, you buy something else, you buy a small item. You will find defects are there, do exist. These are not defects free. So I have seen people even say, okay, no problem, I can live in a building which is not zero defect. I can accept defects. I have seen some people, I have seen such people. No problem, I don't want zero defect building. I can accept defects. It's desperation. You don't want to understand. Defects are not because of something, it's because of human being. We are all human beings, professionals of course we are, but we are human beings too. We can't stick 24 hours at work all time. We can't go through every activity. We have to trust other people. We have to depend on them. It's impossible to keep watch all time, every moment on something. We have to understand that point. Quality is quality, that's true. And health, which I say health, which is another type of quality, you can say. Health is also quality. If I don't have good health, I think I can't work. I have certain deficiency. If I am sick, or I have some problem with me in my mind or in my body, that I can't perfectly work, I can give efficiency. And I'm not a person of quality. I'm not utilizing my whole energy I have. I can't utilize that. When I can't utilize means maybe there's a defect in my mind. I may do wrong step. Therefore, safety is very important. It may be COVID time or no COVID time. People call it COVID time. Okay, it's COVID time. COVID also requires safety of health, but it harms also. So COVID says, you want to be healthy, don't worry about me. You take precautionary measures. I am there to enter your body, but if you don't allow me to enter your body, I don't mind. I won't enter. It's a very simple statement. But it also says, I am not stopping here. You take precautionary measure. That is your privilege, your charter. You don't worry about me. I would try my best to enter your body, and if I could not enter your body, I won't harm you. It's so simple. You have to understand that. It is thought. If you are using mask, if you use mask, and I say eyes also are important. COVID cannot touch your body. It's not going to force you to remove your mask or googles or your eyeglasses. It says, okay, no problem. When I get an opportunity, I'll enter your body. So it's optional. COVID is optional. We have to understand that. In engineering sense, COVID is not mandatory for you. And there's no mandate. It says, okay, there's one solution for you. Keep yourself protected. Keep yourself safe. I won't harm you. That's it. But if you don't keep safe, you can't blame me because it's my job to enter your body. You can keep yourself safe. I'm not going to stop you. But don't forget, I can enter your mind. That's my prerogative. If I can enter your nose or I can enter your mouth, I can also enter your mind. Don't forget it. And I think that is very, very, you can say, smart attitude. I can say that smart action it does. If it enters your mind by whatever way, I think it's more powerful on mind impact rather than nose or mouth. It can enter your mind and reduce its functioning. Those people, I think, have been unsafe. Those people who have been impacted by COVID once, second time also, they least bother. They have some basic misunderstanding that I got vaccination, I am safe, or once I had COVID-19 infection, now I have come back and I am safe. That is what misunderstanding people have gotten. You are not safe against COVID until you use your protective equipment, personal protective equipment. Nations made mistakes, they corrected their mistakes. Israel made a mistake, America made a mistake, many other countries, smallest country in the world that made a mistake because of political reasons. Until health is impacted, you should not worry about, you have to resort to these measures. Only best solution is mask and eye protection. COVID will not enter your body, but remember, you have to use mind also. COVID likes you not to use mind. If you don't use your mind, COVID can act comfortably. This is what I could understand by COVID-19. COVID-19 has given the liberty of use of PPE. It has given the liberty of acting. It has given the liberty of what you should drink, what you should not drink. And it has given the liberty of so many applications. You see, we name it only, we do not know it. That's also true. We name that there is COVID. It acts like this, that's what we understand by infection. Person to person infection or air to person infection or whatever else way we think there is. It's not my enemy or your enemy. It has its own mandate. It's working. That's it. Now those who say, generally politicians, I think nothing else. Only politicians speak like this. We will defeat it. We will kill it. We will do this and we will do that. See, everywhere politicians make life uneasy. What is function of saying we'll defeat it? Tell me. Is it some fruitful function? If I say I'll defeat it when I don't know him, I don't know existence of that one. Will defeat you. What is after all? What you want to say? Defeat whom? Say we will save ourselves, that's different. But saying will defeat you is meaningless. You just want to arouse people. Oh, we have defeated this one. Don't use mask. Means you indirectly support COVID that way. Don't defeat, just save yourself. That's enough. If you save yourself, automatically there's some defeat for that, because that entity is unable to carry out its work. But why do you say, I will kill you? When you do not know where that person is, you do not know its image even, shadow even. How you can say that will defeat? So this is political kachra statement, I can say. Political pollutant. I don't know reason why generally all politicians, you take any country, USA you take, England you take, means they have behind killing, they are behind risking people to lives. Of course, people are crazy. They are not very, on an average, they are not very brilliant people. They want democracy and they want to enjoy life. They want to do everything that is social requirement, political requirement, national requirement. But don't forget, it's only 1.5 years. Why are you so much upset? In life of 70, 80 years, if you have a problem for 1.5 years because of some reason, you are responsible for that. Because if God is not happy with you, it's very much true. God is not happy with humanity, because we have spoiled this earth, which God took time to make it. We have to consider that way, that God is sending you a message. You cannot interpret that. It is not quality of human being, it's quality of everything, I can say. We spoil quality of earth. We spoil quality of agencies of earth. For example, we spoil quality of water. We spoil quality of air. We spoil quality of weather. We spoil quality of everything that we could do. For what? Just to get some comfort. We are not fit for air always, heat always. How many percent of people are fit with digestion of heat in air? Can you digest sunlight, hot sunlight? Canada yesterday I read this was on 29th June 2021 that it's 46 degrees in Canada somewhere. 46 degrees Celsius. Unexpected, but it is. In Canada, 46 degrees is something wonderful. It was 53 degrees in Muscat. I think, yes, in Muscat. Muscat or Kuwait, probably Kuwait or Muscat, somewhere it was. I exactly don't remember. Let us say in the Gulf. 50, 48, 47 degrees Celsius are very common in June, July. It's not extraordinary, but in a country like Canada, it's questionable. In 1982-81, it was 50 degrees or 50 to 55 degrees in Iraq when I used to work there. So in those areas, it is acceptable. People are used to stay like that. So you can say it varies from place to place. You cannot uniformly apply such systems everywhere. So, because high temperature doesn't help COVID-19, that's also true, but what level? Question is that. 40 degrees, 50 degrees, 60 degrees even do not kill COVID. That is unfortunate. People used to think before that about 28 degrees Celsius, it will go away. But that has worked. This is not uniform application on COVID. It may be on other viruses. This means COVID is extraordinary. It's something you may say extraordinary or outstanding. It's still outstanding that it is able to perform One scientist from France, when I said read his research paper, he tried to kill this particle, kill this entity, and he published that only at 90 to 92 degrees Celsius this could be burnt out. 90 to 92 degrees Celsius. Well, I don't think we can digest that temperature. 90 degrees Celsius. If you burn some fire on road, or you burn bodies, it will of course be more than 90 degrees Celsius. But we can't stand there. We have to go away from there. We'll stand distance only, because in its sphere envelope there is 90 degrees or more, and we can't stand there. That we have to understand. That's why I say quality and safety are very, very important disciplines or sub-disciplines. We have to understand quality and quality controls. Engineers believe that quality controls enough is enough, but I say no. It's not quality control I'm interested in alone. I'm interested in quality system. Total quality, how does it move, how does it perform, that system. Not tests alone. Testing alone is not adequate. System should be understood. How do you devise system which can't be seen but effective it is? How can we move it? How can we use it? How can we improve it? How can we document it and again document it? And that document is not pleasing document, but that document is professional document, which requires its application. Whatever documents we do have, these must work. These must be applied. That is main requirement of professional documents. I can't say that I just write a poem and keep it in. That's no document. That is only script. But when I say document, means it has to function, it has to perform, and because it can perform, that's why we have referred it to the title and title document, professional document. When we say professional document, not document alone, it means that it has to function. It has certain quality, it has certain potential that can function. So professionalism means you have to do something for use. It's not simply you're pleased with, no. That must work, and that is professional means. We have to study it to that depth where we can understand it works. It works and we have to see how does it work. Quality system is therefore entirely different. We have see health quality system in our country, in other countries. It is proven that all over the world there is a deficiency in health system. No country can claim we are best one or we are number one. It was an understanding sometimes, but now COVID-19 has closed that understanding that you are number one or who is number one. And another power that COVID has got, that you can't restrict its movement. It's visa free. You do not know this. It's like air, as air moves, you can't control it. It's like rain, you can't control it. It's like sun rays, you can't control it. So when we can't control someone, what do we call it? Can I contain rain? I cannot. Only I can contain is my safety. I installing umbrella on myself, and some control I can see. My head is protected, my shirt is protected, my shoes or chappals or pant may not be protected. There may be thunderstorm timely, which also results in devastation. We can't control that too. There's flood, we can't control too. What I mean to say that there are so many applications in life we can't control. So we have to see in that scenario about quality and safety. Quality is a system. We have to keep in mind that It's not quality test. Quality test is support. That is something else. But quality system, we have to convert ourselves into that system. We have to see boundaries, we have to see compound, we have to see offsets, we have to see volume, we have to see space setting. In addition to all that, we have to see space frame on that. We cannot say that we do not know behind a space frame. Engineers have to think of quality in different way. I don't need answer immediately from any problem. There should be answer, but based on logic. It's not because I like it or I think it. No. There should be justification for every answer to any question. If I can't justify, I can't I can't say, okay, I'm writing in abeyance. If you are writing in abeyance, why are you writing then? When you are not clear, you want to find answer after suspending it. Since you're wasting your time, system development is required. System development is more important, and once you do system, you'll face stages of quality controls. Quality control was very important one time, long before, maybe when there was nothing, no imagination of quality system, safety system, design system, work system, everything, though you may not see it any form, but these internationally are accepted. Unfortunately, some people try to learn from what's happening, and some people don't want to learn. No one can force those who cannot learn. It's up to you. If you have to serve society or country, you have to accept certain conditions, certain systematic manners. Only then we can say you have this. So when I say COVID-19 in relation to quality and in relation to engineering, in relation to safety, I can say so far safety was very limited. COVID has opened door for everything. Open door. I think we can't ignore COVID, but we should not be tensioned by it. It only says very small requirement. It says that use your mask properly, use your glasses properly. Well, I think that's enough message from COVID-19. You have certain conditions. If you are able to understand that COVID-19 is very heavy, no, it's not. It's very light, yes, it is very, very light particle. We can't even imagine that, so light it is, beyond imagination of an ordinary person. Yes, engineers can imagine that. I accept that. They can understand very well if they concentrate. Just saying something has gone, I don't accept. Some research says that 20,000 years in past, it was there. Okay, they think so. There is no debate on that, because it's point of research, published one. So what do I say? I say that I have to take into my consideration, first of all, safety and quality both. Safety gives me power to remain healthy and to remain safe during work at every cost. Life cannot be allowed to be cleared or thrown away just because someone is careless, someone doesn't care for self and for others. That point, really, you have to understand. Safety, health, environment, both are, all these three are combined. Safety goes with health, and health goes with environment goes with so many other criteria that we can talk, we can understand. And quality as a system we have to understand, not as controls alone. Controls, there are thousands of controls, that's a different way. But principle is behind system. It's up to you, it's not up to someone else how you devise your system. It's your system for you. Only guiding factors that institutions provide, what you have to do or what you have not to do. If you have to do in its format, which they call now AnnexSL format, how do you go, how do you fill it, and how do you work on it? To say, how do you apply that? Application of your thoughts, application of your plans are very, very significant. There is no meaning if you do not accept quality and SHE. There is no question of shame, it's requirement. Even if there is no system, you have to be safe. Forget system, forget requirement. Are you ready to die for work? No, nobody wants to die. Everyone wants to work safely. So if that is common requirement, that you want to be safe, what's the problem then? Why should worry about SHE in that case? Because people don't understand. People don't understand. It's not because of their fault, it's because of background, illiteracy, overconfidence. It happens. Sometimes a person who can be affected by work, who can be affected by safety lack, and if that person claims, I know my duty, I know how to work in safety, and if you find that person ignoring what promised, what do you do then? Quality is something that you have to comply with, that's it, nothing else. But it is an important one. You have to comply it. You can't run away if you are really in profession. Civil engineer particularly is a role of life. People may not like civil engineering because it's hard field, it's very difficult field, means you forget your dressing sense, you forget your personal sense. That is what it is. If you are by choice civil engineer, you are fortunate. And if you are not by chance, by some other means, that's your choice. But remember, engineers have to change quality of life. I'm not going to talk a lot on this. I have to say only that realize facts. Engineering is a factual world. It's not hypothetism. Engineering is a factual world where resources are used. Human resources, machines, equipment, and other, in addition to other resources, these are used. You have to do that. Whether or not you like it, you have to do it. No way out. Quality control is second consideration. Do not mix up two issues. Don't mix up that. You should know why this testing is going on, what's requirement. It's not simply saying that test is required here, you have to explain why it is as such. I say engineering is big. Construction is much bigger than designs in sense of working. Construction can't be done without quality. If we do it without quality, we can say we subject people to risk. We subject them to risk, some risk, if we are not sure. How many times you can think, it depends upon that. As many times you think, you can analyze that many times. And remember, you are questioning yourself in doing analysis. You will raise those questions to answer too. You have to understand that, think that way. Sometimes I feel it difficult to explain about systems. Engineers take different way. They are not interested in system. They are only interested in solutions by designs, and they are not even interested in quality of working. This is really unfortunate how it is. Why we do not care for that? We have to think. Requirement of quality. It's hot early morning. I think it's 32. Probably it is 32. Let me see how much it is. 32 in morning time. 32. Weather conditions, what it says now. Yes, it is 32 or 43 in daytime. So it's showing 32. If you want to sell, can show you, no problem. So you can see this now. This thing is printing out. You'll see this print. You can see Wednesday, June 30, 32 degrees, 4:20 a.m. 32 degrees, 4:20 a.m. 40, this wind is 15 kilometers per hour, western winds, and gust is 28 kilometers. Humidity is 36. Indoor humidity too is 36. You see, indoor and outdoor both. Dew point is 15. Pressure is this. Sky ceiling is 12.2. That is cloud. So it is clear, of course. And day is 30. Day is 43. 43. Index may be 12. And now index is how much? I can't say at this moment. So index would be 12. Wind gust could be 26, while in evening it is said that expectation of wind gust is 44 kilometers. So high winds expected at night. It's just for your information. I tried to tell you. Early morning, 32 degrees, 4:20 a.m. It's very much informative. So no problem. Let us see. I close this now. Come back to my work. I close this. Go. That's it. So we come back to reality of life. Quality requirement. When we say quality system, we say quality controls, but actually it is quality requirement. Quality system and quality controls, they define quality requirements, and requirements vary from project to project, from work to work, and these also vary from engineer to engineer. When I say engineer, means design engineer or major engineer, where policy matter is decided. I'm talking about that. Requirement of quality. When say requirement means it's not a question mark. It's a mandate. We mandate this. You have to do that. Alright? Mandate is there. Can't be discarded. Everybody is, of course, governed by something. And we too, in engineering, are governed by many, many rules, many, many regulations, many, many codal impacts. We can say requirements, of course, that can be requirement, codal requirement, specification requirement, design requirement. All these documents that we contain in contract, or otherwise if there is no contract, whatever documentation speak, if these are accepted as contract documents, we have to abide by them until there is something wrong, until there is some change. Engineers have to abide by provisions of all activities or provisions or clauses that are defined, within which we have to work, and within which we have to work, and if that within which conditions continue, we can say that that is requirement. This requirement is very important because it is engineers only they define. These are not defined by somebody else. Keeping abreast engineering science, engineering world, engineering design, engineering requirement, codes all over world, requirements are defined. It depends on elections by engineers, which specification you have to use, which is best one for this project, which is best one for this area, or we can vary it, we can bring into action or into use some other specification. There is no bar to that. These requirements which I have been dealing with you for many weeks are factual one. Now systems are advanced, everybody knows. GPS works very well. It's professional, you can say that even drivers use this system for driving route. I don't say for driving route. When you don't know your route, you can use GPS, and generally it takes you to last, you can say, destiny, where you have to go. At least if not local, on major roads, it will take you there. So that's also a requirement created by science, created by engineering. We understand that. We can't say no. I talk to you about those requirements in those talks, in those, I can't say speech, means just presentations, you may say, invisible face but visible documents. I am more interested in submitting documents because documents can speak. My face is not valuable in comparison to requirement. My face is only to use that to be bound by those requirements, and if I am unable so to do, then I am not a professional. I can't say myself as professional, because requirements are given within profession itself. That must be understood very well. And my throat is drying. I don't know reason for that. It's 32, 4:20. I had to go for 10 minutes also after some time. Now drying out. Water I have taken, just half a cup, maybe half a cup. So requirements must be welcome, because some colleague decides that what work we have to do on a project that's already defined. If it's not defined, it requires definition by whosoever is competent on that. If I am competent, I have to define, or somebody else has to define. Because whatever requirement exists, its cost after all, its time, its cost, and effort quality. These requirements are well defined, but there are some requirements which do not need definition, they need prosecution. Now, setting out, for example, it doesn't need any definition, it's already defined. Once your land is defined, corners are defined, area is defined, you don't need something else. It is done. Automatically it is defined. Then excavation, that is on design basis. What design requires, we have to do it. So that is interrelated activity based on designs. Not blind action, no blind action. There must be specific area, must be available, its coordinates must be available. So that is relative requirement. Then there is hand excavation. Maybe people are surprised by talking of hand excavation in this age of machines or equipment. Yes, it is true. But critical activities, critical, you can say services, live services, that may run below our field, below our area, below our work site, which we may not be knowing. To know that with some time, even if we have some directions on drawing, we do not know exactly where these are. We have to then conduct some hand excavation trials just to see that something exists there, some live services or other services. We can't blindly break services on such important projects, which may be oil refinery or maybe some other plant. So you can say hand excavation is something different. It's not excavation, in fact, it's just research, it's just investigation excavation. We see what's there. It can be hand excavation, it can be hydrojetting excavation. It depends on what investigation we conduct. Then there is another item that's called blinding, which is cost, of course, but not that much, because this is also a requirement to start something, to start some concrete work on that. That is total area where foundation has to come in. That requirement must be fulfilled. Blinding, we can say, is cost one with many other activities. Then you can say concrete protection also we consider, because now we think of in specific terms, means we are going to spend money on concrete, but we don't want to take risk. It should be deteriorated. It should be deteriorated once it's done. Our aim was not to deteriorate that. Then we say concrete protection or waterproofing. Then we go to footings, where design starts with. Structural design that comes into play start at footing work. Of course, then further structures, whatever they are, stub columns or grade slab or others, where then columns, walls, suspended slabs or OD slabs all keep on moving. So we have to keep that point also in mind. This is last page of this file, but I just came here for going up. Tabletop. I was talking to you about tabletop. I think I'll come more forward, messy foundation. Yes, it is that. I put this chapter name also now. Tabletop concrete pour. Tabletop means it's still compressor or heavy equipment foundation, heavy equipment vibratory foundations. We design based on vibratory machines. So we have to now move on to this talk, that is, I think I have taken 1 hour by now, maybe. Yeah, it's almost 1 hour is over. This this tabletop, which is, this is actually, you can say, final concrete on which it's a kind of platform, you can say, platform. Though structurally it's a beam design, but it acts as a platform for machine that has to come in, and that is compressor machine. This is rotary or turbine-like structure. It has to be permanently fixed to this tabletop. We say that purpose of this statement is to define sequence and methodology that be implemented for concrete pour, pertinent crack gas compressor, foundation, tabletop, which RCC framed beam structure is considerable size. We are saying that we have to construct this project, gas compressor building, and within that building this equipment. Because here we are going to install equipment on foundation. We cannot directly invest on installing that whole lot on foundation itself. So we are going to construct foundation for that machine, not building of that machine. Foundation we are building, and after foundations are done, we will prepare buildings also for that. So I can see that you have to hold for some time. I'll just lay it down so that you can read it for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, I'll be back. Let me take water also again. I'm feeling very dry today. I don't know why. So I go there. No. Sorry gentlemen, little late because I had some problem there. So I was talking about quality in this case, and this quality which I was talking is now taken up again. Yesterday I took up this, you know, tabletop issue, crack gas compressor tabletop concrete pour, and now I'm continuing it further. In this case we have same index reference, same, you know, scope reference, documents, definitions, responsibilities, safety method, including traffic management scheme, equipment attachment, whatever is required, we have to do it. And scope is very easy. It says that what is purpose after all. In scope we have to say the purpose of this statement is to define sequence and methodology that be implemented for concrete pour pertinent crack gas compressor foundation tabletop, which RCC frame beam structure is considerable size, massive block. Considerable size means it's not that much as was foundation, but smaller to that, of course, yet it is having complicated steel arrangement, sizes of beams, not that massive, but we have to take care to consider it's massive from various viewpoints. You can say a heavy equipment compressor foundation on it, a heavy equipment compressor found on it in dynamic mode, which transmitting working vibration and amplitude to it, which imposed forces this foundation would be required to sustain or dampen. This element is RCC beams massive block. This is massive block in a way. Depth is more, around 170, width is of course much more than 1 meter, since this element is RCC beams massive block with inserts blocks or complexities, insert block out complexities, and in-depth study, but in a successfully planned professional pour is required. This foundation shall be considered to be a massive element also, which means that during concrete pour, temperature controls apply, cracking prevention controls apply, curing controls apply, and overall pouring controls apply. An additional requirement that is very important one, you can say major requirement, that this machine or this foundation is located within 200 meters of process area. Process area means where explosions are expected, blasts are expected, that area, which I did not tell before, but that is also very important point here. In this case, this is in blast area, because this compressor, crack gas or ethane gas or propane gas or whatever else machines that are located therein are all in blast zone, that is within blast area, and 200 meters average, you can say it is within 200 meters of blast area or process area, which can lead to blast in certain cases when it's out of control due to gaseous environment generated within that area. There can be blast anytime, explosion anytime in that zone, which can lead to accident, which can lead to fire, which can lead to fire breakout in area, and there can be losses of lives and properties. That point we have to keep into our consideration. That is reason that this is completely RCC element. There is no other material such as block or brick in this case. Machines are always, you can say, trains, process trains. Process trains are designed to be trains for certain process. To complete that process, and compressors are one of those processing machines or processing equipment. There may be others also, and we cannot consider it as blast resilience or non-blast. This is purely blast resistant foundation, blast resistant building in which this foundation would be housed in. That may be called the crack gas compressor house or ethane gas compressor house or propane gas compressor house. Whatever house shall be made of structural steel and sheeting that would accommodate in this blast factor we have to take into our consideration as far as this foundation is concerned. Therefore, whole foundation, that is massive block foundation below ground, columns between below ground foundation and tabletop, and then tabletop, all are very thick and massive elements of concrete RCC, and that is also reason that we also involve some plates, steel plates with some tanks in columns as well as on tabletop horizontal concrete surface and vertical beams, some kind of that additional strengthening for some digestion of blast, you may say. So this is different type of mechanism. I'm not talking of design criteria here. I'm just talking of quality system, means how to construct it. So therefore purpose is very different. So what actually we do need for this? We have documents which give specifications of concrete, documents that give specifications of formwork and reinforcing bars, and of course we have to refer to steel plates, fabrication, tanks, all that, and other drawings too. We have got certain definitions also discussed previously too, in which case we can say there is a varied range of personnel in this act, in this activity, that is project director or project site leader, construction leader, office engineer or technical leader, construction superintendent or project engineer equivalent, then site engineer, general foreman of course, supervisor, quality controls and safety. These are very limited, but you can expand their responsibilities or titles. There's no mandate on this, but just support that this should be minimum. You can strengthen this, you can elaborate, or you can give more responsibility, or you can keep more people if question of job is expanded. It depends, and all of these are responsible in one way or other. When we say project director or leader who is responsible for everything, I mean to say contractually, who has to be responsible for arrangement of material, supply of materials, resources, particularly arrangement of finances for work. That is major point, and also have to take care of all documents movement from one office to other, and have to submit documents for purpose of obtaining approvals from company or from client or engineer or employer's representative. Approvals are required for every submission. Otherwise we cannot do work, whatever work. Everything should be recorded. So that is main job of project leader. Then construction leader, whose job is that he has to arrange, or one has to arrange all these resources through project director in time it should be available on site, We cannot wait. The material is not available and we cannot go further. That excuse is not professional. When all are professional, we have to keep advance notices. We have to keep in advance construction that at least material should be available 1 month or 2 month advance. And we have to plan accordingly through scheduler or through planning engineer. So it's important that construction leader, then office engineer, which is a different world, means every site engineer has to do his job. Every construction manager has to do his job. But this engineer is different type of lead. When problems are seen conflicting with each other, clashes do happen and they cannot deal with separately. That issue comes to this technical person who further coordinates on them, digging out from various methods for various records, document controls, and try to find out maybe something is missing so that I can tell you from here itself. But when really something is missing, information is not available, clarification is required, or some proposal is to be submitted, in that case, technical work is done. You can say collaborative work is done. Deliberations are made, and proposals are to be sent, or you can say submissions are to be done for whatever reason. And that office engineer, because he has most exposure to documents, most exposure to technical base, can read everything, understand everything. That personnel says no, we need some information from engineer or client. In that case, so that site technical query, we can say, can be raised for either clarification or for some proposal or for some problematic solution. It's not that everything is there, but particularly when you are bound by contract, you have to satisfy requirement of contract on this project by investigating these leads, and then of course in future you may get promotion, that's different. But what we get here is we are poor in this case. There are people who understand this. There can be no imagination when imagination is converted to practical world through whatever machine you have. It's resources, it's complete resources that are to be handled by site people, and technical coordination to be handled by office engineer if they employ. Otherwise, everybody has to do its own part. But when it comes to specifications reading, it comes to drawings reading, or it comes to everything reading, there should be some dedicated person available to digest. You cannot say we won it. It's not easy sometimes, but it's difficult. But once you come into contact of that doing, I was really pleased to do this kind of job on mega project. And really, was, I actually was shifted from site job to engineering job because of my concentration in engineering designs, and engineering works. Yeah, everybody is not happy with such you can say engineering activity. People want to rush project like contractors. Of course, no bad with that. Then you can say many other responsibilities are there. I can't say all responsibilities now what to do. We have to go to safety and see how safety would work on this tabletop. Everywhere there is safety officer, nothing new in here. And that safety officer is required to monitor all activities going on site. What site engineers are doing, are they complying with requirements? And if they fail to comply with requirements, site quality person has to encounter them and explain to them what should be done. It's only site, it's also other places where quality is important. And if you don't consider quality important, you will certainly lose something. Lose something. It says safety officers shall monitor all daily activities, advising site engineers if some measures miss. What does it mean? Every engineer knows safety. If doesn't know, has to train itself. But because of hundreds of workers at one location, it's sometimes difficult to answer question. But you have to answer question because you are an engineer. You have to answer question. You can't escape. Safety officers shall monitor all daily activities, advising site engineers. If some measures are required, notification shall be given and site guys have to do it. But if site team provides necessary resources to safety personnel, something is given, some persons are given or some other support system is provided to take care of safety, then safety must be responsibility of safety department or quality department as well. It depends upon what working is going on. But don't forget, safety is very syndrome of laziness. It is done. So what we say, safety guy has to take care or site guy has to take care. It depends on requirements of how your section has been or what important activities that safety personnel and quality personnel both are available there telling facts. That's point here. Now we say prior to commencement of whatever activity workforce shall receive certainly a toolbox talk, or you may call start card talks if that applies in mechanical, electrical as well. Toolbox talk on project safety are requirement. You can say are site requirements, and then construction realty. Priors is the process involving a particular safety task shall be calculated by job hazard assessment. In this case, of course, it works, and necessary measures adopted to address whatever risks involving issue so that included measures comply to real requirements. Standard only. In this case, we are going to work at height that may be 12 meters from ground, 12 meters from ground, and when people around 10, 11, they come up and down of room. In this case, we are going to work on site, on height. So that is very important point. We have to conduct analysis. How shall we save our people directly working at that height? In this case, as well as in case of columns we casted, this is also very important activity. We have to work out plan for access to working area for all resources and for people. I'm not talking of machines as resource, I'm talking of small tools that people have to take up. They have to go up and down many times during concrete preparation, or you can see during concrete pouring, and after that also. That can't be given availability check. We have to understand this. We have to see, we have to conduct analysis as a JHA. So it says process involving a particular safety risk shall be calculated by job hazard assessment and necessary measures adopted to address whatever risk involving issue so that included measures comply to requirement, serial requirement, standard only. Competent personnel can work here. Only competent personnel shall be engaged to carry out operation. Personnel shall use all protective clothing, gloves, eye protection, masks, gumshoes, full body harness, etc. as usual. And in addition to general safety measurements, to use personal safety equipment, all personnel to work on electric breaker. You know, it's a tool, electric breaker, and also grinder or drill and proprietary products. Application should wear gloves, masks, safety glasses, etc., whatever are required for protection of body parts. All personnel to work on forms and reinforcing bars shall use all safety masks, safety measures required as described or description included on various other method statements. Then you can say which must include hand gloves, eyeglasses, etc. in addition to general PPEs. Since heavy RCC activities are involved on tabletop preparatory works and pouring concrete up to a height around 2 meters located at 10 meters from ground, all measures should be resorted to regarding safe scaffolding, stepped access with both side handrails on formworks. Then we have to take also into our consideration heavy RCC activities are involved in this case, and this may go to 2 meters to 10 meters or more. We have to take into consideration all procedures, both side handrails, we have to take into our consideration many other points about this work, that all procedures necessary on formworks, all procedures required for reinforcement, fabrication and placement as well as on to carrying out concrete pouring activity to proven technology. Plenty of clean water for spraying on forms, and hot reinforcing bars and sleeper lead else that we have to take into consideration. So plenty of clean water for spraying on forms and hot reinforcing bars shall be combat or beaten to explosion. Now we'll go, plenty of clean water must be there for everything, so we go further. Then we can say ample quantity of water should be available on site for workers as well as for other purposes. Drinking water should be available on site for workforce, and tea breaks be allowed Emergency procedure for first aid shall be explained to be every day, everybody. All equipment, tools that operate on this site shall always be available in full working condition, working order, to be poured along with providing, describing, then you say emergency procedure for first aid shall be explained to everybody. It can happen, it can be required. All equipment, tools, all tools that operate on site shall always be available in full working order, working sequence with appropriate provisions for lighting, for illumination. Wherever required, at night time or whatever time you do, there's no definite answer, depends on availability of concrete and availability of pump. We have to see proper scaffolding, that's a very important point. Proper scaffolding according to project requirements shall be erected around area to be poured, along with providing complete accessible system such as stepped stairs and working platform, worked with top and washing stones. Then we can say proper scaffolding according to proper requirement, project requirement shall be erected around area to be poured, along with providing complete accessible system such as stepped stair and working platforms with top and bottom guardrails. Working being at height which requires adequate and sufficient arrangements for adequately strong scaffold, duly approved and tagged by safety officer. Working platform provided on scaffolding should be provided perfectly without any misses, but be capable to allow safe working, for which calculations could be done to provide platform and accessible stability. During concrete pumps and other heavy vehicles operations, all measures required for safety online, inline to on conference, inline in on conformance to regulatory authorities. So we have to see that point also very importantly, that independent personnel should, or such as professional guards on banks, men should take responsibility of such heavy equipment's proper circulation without meeting any accident. Then we go further on area shall be cleared and leveled on ground, allowing free access to concrete pumps, transit mixers, water tank, and provision of night lights for illumination should be made for curing. Immediate medical attention shall be imparted with to whosoever personnel in attendance shall as and will shall be important. In that case, you can say intermittently, immediately medical attention shall be imparted with to whosoever personnel in attendance as and when so required. Intermittently rest plans, rest pauses should be allowed for workers or say whatever number of personnel. Now, intermittently rest pause should be allowed for workers for consuming certain, you can say, then you can say competent inspector shall visit area daily and full time during pouring concrete to assess whatever safety measures adopted. All snags observed during this visit as well as during pour shall be notified to supervisor present who immediately must act to bring safety measures to an acceptable standard. I will talk of materials here. Materials for the sport. It says gross volume We have to understand pouring here. Pouring is very important, It's a high structure, elevated structure. It's elevated structure, we have to understand this point. High structure. It's not normal. Pouring is very important activity here. We have volume, we know you can calculate it, that's not a big issue. Volume can be calculated. And we do it before doing everything, that's procedure. In this case, let us say gross volume be 175, 73 cubic meter, which is a big one as far as this quantity is concerned. Not like 300 or 400 cubic meter, but even then it's quite big, and you have steel plates are there. It doesn't make a difference. This will depend, so you can say it will impact in quantity. Applicable volume of 4 is 170 cubic meter, let us say. Question of calculations only for reference, it is there for records purpose. And specifications required that your concrete should be GGBS based. It should be C30 or what this was that time. It can be C30 or C40. That is different. Is a question of design. C30 is also because design is a structural member. Design counts here. It could be C35, C40. It doesn't matter here, but it should be structural design. GGBS replacement of 70%. That is defined. And base is for 6. So you can say ASTM C150 type 2 cement shall be utilized, which means 30% we will use that cement and 70% GGBS. That is supplementary cementing material. GGBS, ground granulated blast furnace slag. Ground granulated blast furnace slag, 70% that replaces cement. So you can say it is low shrinkage concrete. Low shrinkage concrete. This means it requires low temperature because reaction is low. Temperature should not exceed 24 degrees Celsius. That is a requirement here. We don't want temperature more than 24 degrees. How it is achieved, we have to see whether it is possible directly, depending on batching plant's performance, or ice requires to be added. It may require ice in some cases. 24 degrees means in ordinary case we consider 32 degrees. There's 8 degrees fall in this temperature, and if ambient conditions remain same as for ordinary concrete, 24 degrees means it's like air conditioned temperature, you can say. air conditioned temperature which lies between 20 to 27 degrees Celsius. So you are producing a concrete that must be air conditioned like that. Ice is not easy, means you need ice probably. And curing materials such as curing compound you require, polythene sheets you require, Hessian cloths you require, polystyrene boards you require, or also if not polystyrene boards, you may require ply boards. You may also require, if not plywood, sand. I mean, polystyrene boards and plywoods are required, or polystyrene boards and sand is required. If you can have no problem in raising sand to that level. And water, of course, is available and that's required. So this is a specification of your concrete that we need, that we have to place GGBS 70% replacement of ASTM C150 type 2 cement. That is environment friendly. 70% you reduce, means 70% impact of carbon dioxide you have taken out from this concrete. SRC impact is not required here because SRC doesn't work in this case when you use GGBS pattern. Sulfate resisting patterns already covered in. So we have to think of now how to do it. Now we have plants, means batching plant we have, one batching plant. I mean batching plant mixer I am saying. There may be many mixers in one batching plant. So one should be standby for safety reasons, for emergency reasons. There should be concrete pump because it is big concrete and we don't want joints. We can say we need one standby concrete pump. Maybe it's not on site, it could be on somewhere else, but it should be ready. It be reproduce within couple of minutes. You can say 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 35 minutes. In this case we can't wait for more time. Concrete has to come in. No cold joints. Then there can be transient mixers depending on frequency. 170 cubic meter to be poured in how many hours, and per hour, and in 1 hour how many trips transient mixers can take. It depends on that calculation. We require vibrator, generally 2 numbers in this case because it's big pour, maybe 3 numbers, and then we need some standby as well. And of course water tanker we need certainly if there's no direct water pumping. Manpower, it depends. In this case 6 masons or more are adequate, good enough. Carpenters, because work is already done, only protection of work during concrete is required. So for that 3 carpenters, I think, not superfluous, not surplus, but required in case some happenings take up the work fast. Then there could be scaffolders and steel fixers, helpers, etc., etc. Now there is a design issue in this case. Design issue, what is that? Actually, when you started this work, on tabletop it was divided into 13 sections. 13 sections were partitioned. I don't know reason behind that. And these were named A and B. There were 16 construction joints in beginning of design, which initial design was, I don't know, it was worked out or it was copied and pasted, I can't say even today. Pour sequence are described in as pour A and pour B. A total of 5 pours, that is named A sections, all shown to be concreted prior to pore name B. Is those shown as A required to be adopted in forms of A. Then there will B also, means certain 5 ports name B, 16 ports name B, sections shown to be concreted after 14 days of port name A. So there was a gap. Today we cast A after 16 days. Means today I consider 8 and 86. We have A and pore B. The gap of 14 days shown for pouring area B. What we have to do in that case, you have to understand. So they are B and pore in this case, but I did not like it. I raised a question and I just wanted to know reason. Their side staff did not have any answer. This query was raised and this engineering query was requested to respond within a couple of days. Now we go to something else, quarantine of this issue. I advocated that why do you want to do separate pouring when monolithic action is possible? We can cast monolithically, what's harm with that? These guys, for sure. What we do, consequent upon engineering conference and according to decision-wide STQ site technical query, it was agreed that monolithic action will be applied. Tabletop now shall be poured one time monolithically without formation of any construction joint. Quantities involved have been detailed in attachment. So overall procedure that shall be carried out is as follows, given as follows. It says overall procedure that shall be carried out have been given as follows. Erection for preparatory works. Erection for preparatory works, horizontal forms and horizontal forms for complete pour based on proprietary details from vendor or sample. We can say erection for preparatory works horizontal forms for complete pour based on proprietary details from vendor SCB drawings. You have to depend on works prepared by some vendor who is a specialist in subcontracting. They submitted their proposal. We accepted that. Now, because being slow in this case is very important, we have to understand how to pour this very complicated arrangement. You can say we have to keep our bolts there, sleeves. We have to provide binding wire to all steel correctly in position, and insert plates we have to provide like horizontal and verticals. But wonderful structure placing and fixing vertical and top plates on vertical forms. This process is similar to RCC column insert plates included for permanent placement as maintenance law purpose. Now we have to, you can say, insert plates there. We have to fix in on the correct locations. These are on bats or moss. So we can say placing and fixing vertical and top plates in vertical forms. This process is similar to RCC column inserts plates included for permanent as inserts in all areas. So we can say erecting is preparatory works vertical forms in positions. Airing all forms, aligning all forms, place and acid resistant forms. Erecting preparatory works vertical forms in you can say with positions, and aligning all forms, insert plates and then we have to go to next one. After alignment is over, we have to go to erection of adequately safe scaffolding. Means these are preparatory works. We have to make sure first of all our supporting system. Erection of adequately safe working, safe yield. So we have to now erection of adequately safe scaffolding, accessible route and working platform surrounding tabletop coverage, allowing safe working areas to all workers. Fabrication of steel reinforcing bars and deliveries to site locations duly tagged for easy identification. Fabrication of steel reinforcing bars and deliveries to site locations duly tagged, not having. Now, fabrication of steel reinforced bars etc. done, setting up lines and location access requirements in all respects for reference every moment. QC inspection to be conducted all time. Fabrication tabletop soft inside forms based on proprietary design. Delivered by specialist vendor in line to satisfactory meetings and line storage. So we can say you have done all this steel reinforcement and shutters were done accurately as required. We have to place steel door bars, we have to provide chairs, placing steel bars for lower. Hence, then if you go to further, you have to completely do work of neck columns as we left last time, because this is a frame. You have to complete that work. You have to completely pass through whatever. After these activities, we have to pour. Means we have to show that everything is fine, placing all complicated reinforcement, bars at locations within connections as well as around blockouts, embedment all according to demanded details, erection, installation, fixing, formwork to blockouts, inserts in light according to setting out line marks, fixing cathodic protection anodes and system according to exact locations within structures, and this should be more on this. We can say we have to provide cathodic protection, we have to provide electrical continuity test on that. Then QC inspection is required. And all preparatory works, including temporary activities, are ready. Then QC inspection. Then, when all preparatory works, including temporary activities, are ready, QC inspection conducted shall follow. Then we have to see means what we are going to do ultimately when all the works including temporary activities are ready, QC inspection will be conducted. and after that concrete pour approval is obtained. Following process be used in that. Producing, pouring details in brief now. What are those? Pour shall commence from whatever end, I'm saying east here, whatever, doesn't matter, whatever other feasible direction, and we accordingly execute. It says pour shall commence from whatever end in direction and be accomplished in 4 layers according to attached sequence. Whatever sequence you have to decide how can you do it. It can be that way. Concrete temperature shall not be allowed to be more than 24 degrees Celsius as is specified for massive concrete structures. Immediately after pouring is finished, curing compound shall be sprayed. So immediately after pouring is finished, curing compound shall be sprayed and surface be covered with polythene sheet, polythene membrane. Now later, within 2 hours, polythene sheet or membrane shall temporarily be lifted, saturated, Hessian spread, and polythene sheet replaced. So, very important point actually, I'm just laying it, is that a layer of insulation material which you have to lay under a thick polystyrene shall be laid over polythene sheet covered with plywood sheet to keep insulation material intact in place over 72 hours. For conducting thermal curing, thereafter routine curing to continue for specified period. Differential thermometers, thermocouples shall be used inserted to record thermal variations or thermal gradients or temperature variations. General pouring notes for explanation, let's say. General pouring notes for explanation. On-site pouring shall be controlled, prosecuted to a defined indicative scheme, details of which are included on attachment. A concrete pour plan. You have to plan which way you want to take. You want to take in layers or you want to take different way. So, yes. We can now say that each step, you can see location of concrete pump, transit mixer, start point, follow-up points. You have to see all this. Once on-site pouring shall be controlled, as we said, all activities shall be fixed time-wise for actual effect on site without causing any snag. Location of concrete pump, transmixer, start point, follow-up points are for intended each strip and its location vertically have been indicated to extent. Each step and you can say location of concrete pump, etc. etc. All machines, equipment shall be marked on that plan and fixed accordingly. Concrete delivery, concrete placement, all on plan. Each step and its location vertically have been indicated, and you can devise that yourself. No need because this is different with the voids in this. So you can say which one you have to do first. That's your choice. It's easy. It's not difficult. Then each step and step outlet or boundary outlet. You can say each step and each location vertically have been indicated to follow such that no hole joints are allowed. Once a 2 meter wide or as decided layer 400 mm thick is poured in direction of width, and the layer shall be poured continuously as indicated on pour sequence. Chart matrix and site convenience allows for a better pour control for results. As indicated or decided on chart, number sequence of pour layers shall be complied with so that no cold joints are formed, and sequences depends on ability of number of pumps. No cold joints are formed, and sequences depend on availability of number of pumps. Vibrator shall be applied in such a way that nozzle penetrates about 75 to 100 into lower layer for interlocking between two layers, that is current one and immediately below. Post concrete pouring temperature shall be monitored by inserting maxima, minima thermocouples for thermal gradient control after concrete is set. During concreting, temperature shall be measured so that it doesn't exceed 24 degrees Celsius. Ice shall certainly be added to concrete mix at batching plant during hot weather condition. Pouring should be conducted preferably from both ends of foundation. This is now foundation, or you can say tabletop foundation. For precautionary measures, performed stop ends should be available to meet certain emergency requirements when certain equipment or plant is broken down and pour is required to break temporarily. So what we say now, for precautionary measures, stop end should be available to meet certain emergency requirement when certain equipment or plant is broken down, and pour is required to break temporarily for its resumption post couple of days. Number of stop ends should be as many as number of layers for convenience. We can say number of stop ends. Okay, fine, we have decided. Then no break shall be allowed. No break shall be allowed pouring until it's completed, while crew shall be rotated to allow tired crew test, rest pause, and suitable liquids or refreshments. Water shall be sprayed on reinforcing bars on formwork so as to prevent steel rebars and forms high temperature. Transfer heat impacts on wet concrete that would otherwise be a certain status of flash setting. Flash setting of concrete is not permitted. Cold joint within concretes are not permitted. Shall be ensured that constant water So we have to see now after immediately after it shall be ensure that cathodic protection equipment and node C clamps and GI wire top do not get damaged during pouring. Immediately after top layer is laid and finishing carried out, curing compound shall be sprayed following covers with with immediately after top layer is laid and finishing carried out, curing compound shall be sprayed following covering with polythene sheet. After whole pouring is over, surface shall be wooden finished, protected immediately by polythene sheet, membrane replaced after few hours by removal of polythene sheet and saturated adhesion placed over and recovered by polythene sheet, further covered with polystyrene board, followed to be covered with plywood later, or entire area of concrete kept watered. If sand can be used, sand can be included. So if sand can be lifted to the side, you can say if sand can be lifted to the side, sand fill 150 mm may be permitted, which must be remaining all time wet for at least 3 days during thermal curing duration. External sides shall be kept cold. External sides shall be kept cold by water fogging spray to maintain so we can say now let us see how it works. Just few more notes. I think I finished this. Okay. Observations, we can say water shall be continuously poured over sand to keep stop system cold, not allowing any transmission of heat either from surrounding or from massive block to environment. Observations regarding rising and falling thermometers, thermocouple shall be conducted to procedures for monitoring thermal gradient within concrete. Whole area shall be barricaded with no further work allowed until first 3 days. Curing, thermal curing, aeration. 5 minutes more. I finish it. So we say that we can say regarding rising and falling thermometer, thermocouples shall be conducted to procedures for monitoring thermal gradient within concrete. Whole area shall be barricaded with no further work allowed until first 3 days. When thermal curing is completed, to be followed by by routine curing for defined number of 14 days. When formwork is removed from sites on fourth day, close inspection shall be conducted, ensuring whether or not certain defects are noticed. And if defects are noticed or observed, remedial measures shall be agreed between contractor and engineer for measures application immediately. Surfaces shall be sprinkled with water in sequence, followed by application of curing compound spray. Curing compound shall be applied only on vertical surfaces to retain water behind compound membrane. Routine water shall be applied on horizontal surfaces continuously and preferably also to be applied to vertical surfaces. What actually we need in batching plant, one standby and one working. Concrete pump also 1 transit mix of 6 number, vibrators 2 and 2, water tanker 1. Manpower in same means on 6, carpenters 3, etc. Depends on. So we'll take off ethane gas next time. So today we have taken up in this quality talk various issues. This we have taken various issues in these talks. It's also very, you can say, quality that we want to make is not easy. People have to understand what actually we provide. Engineers have to work a lot. It's not simply design. If you see facilities chapter 11 quality requirements, we have to take care of that. Not easy, it's difficult in fact. So I think it's now time to possibly close down. Already 3 hours are over. Means of course I reviewed something during this talk as well and given time to you to read. It's not, I'm talking these method statements to you. These are very important tools, you can say, professional documentation of activities that you are going to do. Such records would help you in future if you have such records, because I am finding that engineers are not very much interested in writing method statements for purpose of quality. They are only interested in quality controls, which is only little part of quality. If your information is not given to everybody, if your work information is not given to everybody, people may not know because they are not clear about quality controls. Everybody is not clear. People should be clear one. If your workers, your staff, they are not interested in quality controls because the testing is not within their ambit to understand. How to work on site, that's more important. If your work is safe, system safe naturally, of course your part you are doing quality controls you will do, but quality system, they should know what you are doing. If you follow quality system, you make your own system, certainly quality controls will come into play itself. We have to keep in our mind that system you have to define yourself. It's nobody would come from outside and define for you. You have to define your system, walk on that system, and then talk of quality. It's not difficult. It's easy. And you can say you will teach your people that way. They can refer to past records, how it was done, and they can formalize for future. It's very important. Quality system is actually backbone of industry, of construction. I learned it from many nationals. It works. What is written by others, I don't care. What you are going to do for yourself, for your project, and that must be within ambit of specifications and what everybody agrees, so that future disputes are also resolved. If method statement is done, it's worked upon, how shall we do it? Contractor, engineer, and those involved all agree, then there can be left no room for evaluation of disputes in future for purpose of quality, because you defined quality yourself, you operate quality yourself, and you achieved quality yourself. So there can be no such disputes in future. That's also one important point here. Well, I'm not saying what will be dispute free, but at least technical points shall be covered in method statement, which is a part of quality. It's actually quality body. It's body of quality and body of construction. Both are responsible for work quality. Design must give input what way this work preferably be done. I'm not saying that they should know how shall it be done. It's not simply line work, plan and section. Ease of construction is also, ease doesn't mean automatic, it means feasibility of comfortable construction where tension-free instructions are given and controls are understood to be, people are trained for that. That is what is meaning behind that. That kind of training, that kind of, you can say, on-job training other than books training or degrees training, how to understand concrete, how to understand concrete requirement, what should be temperature of concrete like, why it should be. All these must be understood. This can come only from legal boxes, legal, you can say, legal hands, prepared by site guys, prepared by project guys. This is what we are going to do. That is important point. We have to understand. And if you understand that, we can chart out many problems easily. Thank you very much.